Hello, I am Dixie, and this is my channel where I do historical costuming things. It's the end of the year. I am working on a big project right now, and I thought we could work on something small today while I do a little recap of the year and what I've made and what I hope to be able to make next year. So, like I imagine many people, I bought this wool mitts kit from Penny River Costumes during Cocovid when she did a demonstration of making them on Costuming Drama's channel. So it comes with instructions. Let's see what's in here. It actually comes with needles and some thread. Oh, that's the cutest little spool. And then there's also more thread for embroidering the outside. Oh, and there's some pins in here too. This is a whole bunch of stuff. I'm going to review this and get started, and then maybe we can chat. Okay, first thing I need to do is baste these little edges. Yeah, so I thought today I'd talk about, I don't know, my experience this year with costuming with this channel. I'm trying to think of all the things that I have made, which has actually been a lot. But I started out with my Alice Roosevelt gown, which I had put off making for over a year because I got pregnant and I was like, well, I'm not gonna make anything that isn't gonna fit, or I'm not even gonna be sure it's going to fit later. So that was my motivation to do this channel and to get started. Probably my best project the whole year is also fairly simple, but that Regency dress that I made in the spring, I actually made it in February. Wow, that was the last event I actually went to, was in February, before COVID happened. But that dress was just perfect. Like, there is nothing wrong with it. It fits great. There's no issues whatsoever, which is very, very rare in my experience of doing costuming. I think my other favorite costume piece of the year is something I wouldn't have expected, but I really loved that stupid bonnet, that giant 1780s bonnet. It's so big. It's just like enormous. I just can't get over how big it is. And I just I love wearing it. I can't wear it unless I do my hair real big and like put hair rats all up in my hair and curl it and everything. Otherwise it would just cover my entire face. The things that were the most challenging this year wasn't necessarily to do with the costuming. It's just more like keeping up with deadlines for the channel. I tried my hardest to do a 2-week schedule. At first I was doing once a week and I was like, this is unsustainable and I cannot do this. I know some other channels have a lot of videos in the can ready to go. That's not me. I can't do that. As for sewing challenges, the Alice Roosevelt dress, obviously I struggled with that. Just one, getting back into things after having not made costumes in so long. 2, draping, because I don't do that. And then of course I had to make that skirt twice. The other thing that's been a challenge is I really need a dress form. I need a better dress form than the one I have. Mine is broken. It is not functional at all. I don't like using it. It's a pain to work with and it doesn't fit me. Well, one, I do not have the money to get a 3D printed dress form. No, I'm not spending $1,500 on that. So I think I am just gonna have to make one of those bootstrap patterns. So I have bought the pattern. A little bit nervous about making it because I'm concerned that there are some measurements and details that aren't gonna be exact, but we'll see. Okay, now I have to sew this little thumb piece. If you watched my lace dress video, my UFO video, you will know I don't like to plan too far in advance because I feel like that just leads to disappointment whenever I don't finish something. But I do have a few things that like I ought to make. I am working on some accessories for my 1860s work dress. So I'm working on a bonnet, and I have fabric for a apron. And I even bought a little cuff kit from Ensembles of the Past on Etsy. So I'll make those, and then I'll need to make a collar. So it's like 4 things to go with one dress. When I say you need accessories, it's not just the dress, like I ain't kidding. I do have fabric for one dress that I want to recreate. It's a Regency dress from about 1800. I can't actually show the picture of the dress because the pictures are copyrighted. So yeah, just because the dress is old and you can't actually copyright garments, the pictures of the garment are copyrighted. All right, what is next? Okay, well I have my first problem. This thing doesn't fit. Great. Okay, new plan. I'm going to ignore this little bit for now and use this other unsewn part and just tuck under the edges and sew it in place. And then I have multiple failed Regency gowns. Like one, the pattern I tried to use was just a dud and it did not work out, and I had to alter it within an inch of its life, and it just ended up being kind of a hodgepodge of early and late Regency, and I don't like it. But there's enough fabric in there that I could maybe use it for something. Maybe like an Edwardian shirtwaist or a 20s dress. And then I have 2 other white striped Regency gowns, one of which I just didn't have enough fabric and the skirt is just too narrow. And then I have another dress, but that one I tried to make a front closing bodice into a back closing bodice, but I messed up the back. So there's not enough fabric in the back and it just gapes open. What I'll probably end up doing is I'll probably piece together and make like an 18th century apron and a fichu or a Regency chemisette. I think that would work well. Yeah, I think I folded this edge and stitched it down too early. I think I was only supposed to stitch the thumb part and the bottom part and not that, which is probably why this does not fit correctly. Well, at least I know not to do that for the next one. Just making a note that the problem that I had here was my own fault and not the fault of the pattern. Probably shouldn't try to talk and sew at the same time. That's probably my issue. Okay, and now I have to tuck under this silk piece. The American Duchess guide also has a mitts pattern that you can use, but I figured, might as well, you know, support a small business. Well, I transferred my embroidery design. Basically, I just drew it with a friction pen, which will rub off with heat. So when you iron it, it disappears. So I did test it just to make sure. So it's just some flowers and leaves and lines. So let's try this. Also, I am a terrible embroiderer. Like, I can't do it. It's gonna be really bad. So we'll see how this goes. Okay, new plan. I am ditching the flowers and we're just sticking with the white lines, and that's gonna be the only embroidery on these things. So the next part is the thumbs, but the baby has awoken from her nap, so I'm gonna have to take a break on this for a while. Well, it is the next day and I had to take a little bit of a break because I had a problem. So the kit is supposed to come with a thumb hole marking already on the fabric, and I was a little confused because mine didn't have that. And I couldn't find a pattern piece in the instructions. I couldn't figure out any way of where I was supposed to put it. So I actually emailed Jessica at Penny River Costumes and asked, so hey, where's the thumb bean supposed to be? But she got back to me and helped me out. I think we figured that the marking had probably just rubbed off over time, and she gave me some ideas of where to put the actual thumb piece. So now I'm going to work on that. From what I understand, this is supposed to be the trickiest part. And I rewatched Costuming Drama's video. In that video, Jessica suggested that I should do this part on a curved surface. So I'm going to use my little tailor's ham. So I think overall, I'm just really pleased with the amount of stuff that I've been able to accomplish this year. I'm looking forward to next year and more costuming things to make and do. I've just felt really proud of myself for committing to this project of this channel and sticking with it and not getting bored with it yet. Luckily, I haven't felt like super burnt out or anything either. Hoping to avoid that in the future. The more I do the filming, the more efficient I get, because I swear, like, half of the time for this I spend sewing and then the other half is editing and shooting and color correcting and finding music to go in the background. I'm feeling really grateful for CostTube, like the costuming YouTube community in general, just because I feel like this has been such an unusual year for everyone, but me especially. I moved to a new city about 1.5 years ago, right before I had my baby, and I was away from all my friends. And at the start of this year, I really wanted to start socializing and making friends and getting into the local costuming community that's here. And then everything shut down. And it's been really hard to not have any kind of friend interaction in 10 months. So this online community has kind of filled that void for me. And I'm sure a lot of other people have felt the same way. And I know that there are a lot of people who have suddenly discovered this hobby this year because of the YouTube community. If you're here, if you're watching, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for supporting this channel. Thank you for inspiring me to make things, motivating me to make things. But I want to know about you. What plans do you have for this coming year? Sewing or something else? Is there anything cool that you're gonna make? What about this channel? Do you want me to cover a certain era or a certain style of costume? Any topics you want me to talk about? Let me know in the comments. I'm gonna use these little clips. Or at least I'm gonna try. And the last part is to do the long side seam. So I put this wrong side out. Wish I had like an arm mannequin. Let's see if I can take this off. Okay, I think I'm going to replace these with pins, try it on again, see if it fits. This was a fairly easy project to do, like pretty quick. The wool is very nice to work with. It doesn't fray, which is great. Oh, look at that. I've got a mitt. All right, I think I am going to take this to the machine and sew this line, just because I don't really want to do this much backstitching by hand. Well, the mitts are all done and I am quite pleased with how they turned out. The thumbs were definitely the most fiddly bit that I had to get right, but otherwise, I think they look pretty good. So if you want a quick hand sewing project, I definitely recommend doing these. And I can't wait to wear them with my 1780s outfit. Thank you for watching. If you want to stick around, you can subscribe. I'm gonna be doing another big dress project soon. That'll be, I think, the first video of the new year. Until next time, happy sewing.